You think you know what's deadly in Africa? Most people say lions, and they're right, partially. But what if I told you there's a creature that kills more people than lions, leopards, and cheetahs combined, and it's not what you expect? In the next few minutes, you're about to discover the 5 most lethal creatures stalking the African savanna. These aren't just dangerous, they're calculated killers with millions of years of evolution behind every attack. Let's start with number 5, the African lion. 400 pounds of pure muscle, a roar that can be heard 5 miles away, and a reputation that's echoed through human history for thousands of years. But here's what most documentaries won't tell you. Lions aren't just powerful, they're strategic masterminds. While the males get all the glory with their magnificent manes, it's the females who do the real killing, and they've perfected a hunting technique that would make military generals jealous. The pride splits into 2 groups. Lionesses on the flanks move silently through the grass, staying downwind so their scent doesn't give them away, while the other group positions themselves exactly where the prey will run. They're not chasing randomly, they're herding, funneling their target straight into an ambush. A lion's bite force measures 650 psi, pounds per square inch, enough to crush bone, but they don't kill with their bite alone. They use their entire body as a weapon, 500 pounds slamming into you at 35 miles per hour. Claws, each one up to 1.5 inches long, digging into flesh, then the suffocation, bite to the throat or muzzle, death by asphyxiation. In Tanzania alone, lions kill approximately 100 people every year, not because they prefer human meat, but because we've built our villages right on the edge of their kingdoms, and when a lion is hungry, injured or old, we become the easier option, and they hunt at night with vision 8 times better than yours. Between 1990 and 2005, over 800 people were killed by lions in Tanzania. But as terrifying as lions are, they're predictable. The next creature on our list has no rules. It's unpredictable, aggressive, and has been nicknamed Black Death for a reason. Number 4, the Cape buffalo. If you ask any safari guide what animal they fear most won't say lion or crocodile. They'll say Cape buffalo without hesitation. The Cape buffalo kills over 200 people every year in Africa, and unlike most animals on this list, it doesn't kill because it's hunting you for food. It kills because it wants to. Here's what makes the Cape buffalo uniquely terrifying. It holds grudges. Scientists have documented Cape buffalo remembering specific hunters, tracking them, and ambushing them. Years later, they'll circle back, wait in thick brush, and when that hunter returns, thinking they're safe, the buffalo charges. And when a Cape buffalo charges, you have about 3 seconds to make peace with your life. They can sprint at 35 miles per hour, Olympic sprinter speed, from nearly a ton of muscle, bone, and rage. Those horns, called a boss, fuse together at the skull into a helmet of solid bone. When a Cape buffalo lowers its head and charges, you're being hit by a battering ram attached to a freight train. The impact alone can shatter every rib in your body, but the buffalo doesn't stop there. After the initial gore, it tosses you into the air with those curved horns, and when you land, broken, bleeding, it tramples you repeatedly, using those dinner plate-sized hooves to crush whatever's left, then stands over your body, waiting, making sure you're dead. Park rangers have found victims who've been trampled so thoroughly they had to be identified by dental records. And Cape buffalo almost never attack alone. When one member of the herd is threatened, the entire herd responds. Old bulls, the ones pushed out of herds living alone, they're the most dangerous. They've survived lion attacks, hyena packs, droughts, disease, and they've learned that humans with guns are the ultimate threat. So they adapt, stop grazing in open areas during the day, use thick vegetation for cover, position themselves downwind, and wait. Because the Cape buffalo doesn't fear you, it doesn't run from you, it studies you, then it kills you. But as deadly as the Cape buffalo is, it's still something you can avoid if you're careful. The next animal on our list, you can do everything right and still die because it kills more people in Africa than any other large animal, and most people think it's harmless. Number 3, the hippopotamus. The hippopotamus kills approximately 500 people every year. That's more than lions, leopards, elephants, rhinos, and Cape buffalo combined. And here's the thing that makes this statistic even more disturbing. Hippos are herbivores. They don't eat meat. They're not hunting you for food. They're killing you because you annoyed them. 500 people per year dead because a 3-ton vegetarian had a bad day. The problem with hippos is that they look ridiculous. We've seen them in cartoons. They're chubby and goofy looking. They yawn and we think it's cute. That yawn, that's not cute. That's a threat display. When a hippo opens its mouth, it's showing you teeth that can grow up to 20 inches long, canines sharpened to points from constant grinding, and jaws that can open 150 degrees wide enough to fit an entire human torso. And those jaws snap shut with 2,000 psi of bite force, enough to bite a crocodile in half, which hippos have actually done. Here's what a typical hippo attack looks like. You're in a canoe, fishing, minding your own business. You don't see the hippo because they can hold their breath for up to 5 minutes and walk along the river bottom. Suddenly, 3 tons of hippo explodes from beneath the water, capsizes your boat with its massive head. You're thrown into the water, hippo territory now. You try to swim, but hippos can move at 20 miles per hour underwater. When it reaches you, it doesn't eat you, it destroys you. Those massive jaws close on your leg, your torso, whatever it reaches first, severing limbs, crushing bone like breadsticks. What makes hippos uniquely dangerous is their territorial on land and in water. During the day, they stay in the water to keep cool. At night, they come onto land to graze, traveling up to 6 miles inland, and hippos on land can run at 30 miles per hour. You cannot outrun them, you cannot climb a tree fast enough, and they will chase you. Villages in countries like Uganda, Tanzania, and Zambia lose people regularly to hippo attacks. The attacks happen so frequently, they barely make news anymore. The hippopotamus has earned its title as the deadliest large animal in Africa, with 500 bodies per year, 500 people who thought a fat, goofy-looking herbivore couldn't possibly be a threat. But what if I told you there's something even more efficient at killing, something that doesn't need size or strength, something that kills with a single bite and has a 100% fatality rate if you don't get help immediately? Number 2, the black mamba. 12 feet of pure nightmare. The black mamba isn't the largest snake in Africa, it's not the heaviest, but it is, without question, the most feared. First, let's clear up a common misconception. The black mamba isn't black, it's grey, olive, or brown. The black refers to the inside of its mouth, a pitch-black warning display it shows right before it strikes. If you see that black mouth, you have about half a second to make your final piece, because the black mamba is the fastest snake on Earth, moving at 12.5 miles per hour. That doesn't sound impressive until you realize most people sprint at about 15 miles per hour, and you're not sprinting. You're panicking, stumbling, trying to run through African brush, while a snake that's evolved for exactly this terrain chases you down. Oh yes, the black mamba chases. Most snakes strike defensively and retreat, but the black mamba, if it feels threatened and can't escape, goes on the offensive, will chase you, repeatedly striking, injecting more venom with each bite. And that venom is where things get truly horrific. Black mamba venom is a neurotoxin. It doesn't destroy tissue like a viper's venom. It shuts down your nervous system. Within 20 minutes of a bite, you'll feel tingling in your lips and extremities. Within 30 minutes, you'll start losing control of your muscles. Your vision blurs. Speaking becomes difficult. Then the paralysis really kicks in. Your lungs stop working. You're fully conscious, fully aware, as your body stops obeying commands. You try to breathe, but your diaphragm won't respond. You try to call for help, but your vocal cords are frozen. You suffocate while completely awake. Without antivenom, the mortality rate is 100%. Even with antivenom, you need it within 20 minutes, maybe an hour if you're incredibly lucky. In rural Africa, where most black mamba encounters happen, the nearest hospital with antivenom can be hours away. The black mamba gives you one warning. It raises the front third of its body off the ground, opens that black mouth and hisses. That's it. That's all you get. And if you don't immediately retreat, it strikes fast, accurate, multiple times. A black mamba can strike up to 12 times in a single attack. Each bite delivers enough venom to kill 10 to 15 men. Black mambas are ambush predators with incredible eyesight. They can see you clearly from 30 feet away, tracking your movements, deciding if you're a threat. The black mamba kills about 20,000 people per year across Africa, though exact numbers are difficult to confirm. It doesn't need size, doesn't need strength, doesn't need pack tactics. It just needs one bite, one perfect strike, and your fate is sealed. But as lethal as the black mamba is, it kills quickly. The final creature on our list takes its time, has been perfecting its kill technique for 200 million years, and when it decides your prey, there's no escape. Number 1. The Nile crocodile. 200 million years of evolutionary perfection. The Nile crocodile is a living dinosaur, unchanged, unmatched, and absolutely unstoppable. And it kills more people in Africa than any other reptile, between 300 and 1,000 deaths per year, though the real number is likely much higher because many victims simply vanish. No body, no witnesses, just gone. Because that's what the Nile crocodile does best. It makes you disappear. A fully grown Nile crocodile can reach 20 feet long and weigh over 1,600 pounds. But size isn't what makes them apex predators, it's patience. A Nile crocodile can stay motionless in water for hours, not moving a single muscle, looking exactly like a floating log. Its eyes and nostrils are positioned on top of its skull, so it can observe everything above water while remaining completely submerged. It watches, it waits, it learns your patterns. Women come to the river to fetch water at the same time every day. Children play in the shallows at the same spot every afternoon. Fishermen launch their boats from the same beach every morning. The crocodile notices, the crocodile remembers, and one day, when you're doing exactly what you've done 100 times before, the crocodile strikes. The attack happens in stages. Stage 1. The ambush. The crocodile approaches underwater, completely silent, and when it's within range, usually about 6 feet, it explodes from the water. Stage 2. The bite. A Nile crocodile's bite force is 5,000 psi, the strongest bite force of any animal alive today. Stronger than a great white shark, stronger than a hippo. Those 64 teeth, each one conical and designed to grip rather than cut, sink deep into your flesh. You cannot pull free. Stage 3, the drag. The crocodile drags you into the water. Once you're in the water, you've entered the crocodile's domain, and here you have no advantages whatsoever. Stage 4, the death roll. The crocodile clamps onto you, then rotates its entire body along its length axis, spinning like a corkscrew. This disorients you completely and tears flesh from bone. Your limb doesn't just break, it's ripped off. The centrifugal force combined with 5,000 psi of bite pressure means human tissue doesn't stand a chance. Arms are torn from sockets, legs are severed, chunks of torso are ripped away, and the crocodile doesn't stop rolling until you stop moving. Stage 5, the drowning. If you somehow survive the initial attack and the death roll, the crocodile simply holds you underwater. It can hold its breath for up to 2 hours. You cannot. You drown while being held in a vice grip of teeth and muscle, and once you stop struggling, the crocodile drags your body to its underwater larder and wedges you there, because crocodiles prefer their meat aged, softened by decomposition. They'll come back in a few days to feed. This is why so many crocodile victims are never found. The psychological horror of Nile crocodiles is that they can be anywhere there's water. Rivers, lakes, marshes, swamps, and even the ocean. There's no safe water in regions where Nile crocodiles live. Here's something that separates Nile crocodiles from almost every other predator. They hunt cooperatively. Multiple crocodiles will position themselves at different points along a river crossing, and when the herd enters the water, the crocodiles attack from multiple angles simultaneously. It's coordinated, planned. In Uganda's Lake Victoria, fishermen report crocodiles working in pairs. One will capsize the boat, while another waits to grab whoever falls in. This isn't instinct, this is strategy. Nile crocodiles can live for 70 to 100 years, which means individual crocodiles alive today have been hunting humans for longer than most humans have been alive. They've learned what we look like, how we move, where we're vulnerable. One famous crocodile in Burundi, named Gustave, is estimated to have killed over 300 people. He's been shot at, trapped, hunted by professional crocodile catchers, and he's still alive, still hunting, because you can't outsmart an animal that's been perfecting its kill technique since the Jurassic period. The Nile crocodile doesn't roar, doesn't chase, doesn't give you a fighting chance. It just waits in perfect stillness, in perfect camouflage, until you make one small mistake. And then, in an explosion of water and teeth and unstoppable force, you learn why this creature has survived unchanged for 200 million years. Because it doesn't need to change. It's already perfect at what it does. Killing. 5 creatures, 5 completely different strategies for death. The lion, power and coordination. The Cape buffalo, rage and revenge. The hippo, territorial fury. The black mamba, speed and venom. The Nile crocodile, patience and inevitability. What's terrifying isn't just that these animals can kill you, it's that they represent millions of years of evolution specifically designed to do exactly that. Every tooth, every muscle, every instinct, refined across countless generations into something approaching perfection. Nature doesn't care about fairness, it cares about survival. And these 5 creatures have mastered it. The African Savanna isn't a safari park. It's not a zoo. It's a battlefield where these predators write the rules and humans are just visitors trying not to become statistics. So the next time someone asks you what the deadliest animal in Africa is, you'll know it depends on where you are, what time of day it is, and whether you've already made your final mistake. If this video changed how you see the African wilderness, hit that subscribe button, because nature's deadliest secrets, we're just getting started. Stay curious, stay cautious, and respect the wild, because out there everything is trying to survive, even if it means you don't.